Ladies and gentlemen, today we are on the brink of Game 1 in the NBA Finals, in a finals matchup that will most definitely be historic because this is the most probably best finals matchup we've had since 2016. San Antonio versus New York. These are two teams that we didn't think would be here at the beginning of the season. For New York, I mean, especially after midway through the season, I think they were about third in the East basically the entire year. There were times like they had some blowouts to the Pistons. They looked really bad at parts of the season. We thought it was going to be over for them. We thought they wouldn't have a chance. But I mean, they clicked at the right time. This Mike Brown deep rotation has really worked in the playoffs. I think this season more than ever, we've learned how kind of irrelevant the regular season is in comparison to like just the playoffs. Like in previous years, it seemed like the regular season was a bit more important, but now we see playoff basketball is just a completely different animal. Like it's totally different than what anything we've seen in the regular season. They've clicked at just totally the right time. They've been playing amazing. They've won 11 straight. They swept the Cavs in the conference finals. They shot great from three, but Jalen Brunson actually in that series he shot below 20% from three, but he was kind of able to hide behind because I think Colin Anthony Towns shot over 50% from three. Landry Shamet shot 90% from three in that series. I mean that's crazy. I think he ended up going something like 15 for 16 from 3-point range or something like that. He was dominant from downtown. OG Anunoby was hitting threes. Mikal Bridges was hitting threes. And this Knicks team is in a completely different boat than the Spurs team is. Because this Knicks team, going into next year, their core is all going to be above the age of 30. This isn't a team that we're going to expect to be back next year, especially with the East getting so much stronger. I mean, we know the Pistons, they're just breaking out. Their core is way younger. They're going to be hunting a second option. They're going to get better, especially in the playoffs. The Magic were disappointing this year. I do think they're going to end up getting better, though. I mean, I think it was just a one-year thing. I think they're going to be able to figure out how to play Paulo and Franz at the same time. Maybe Paulo will start playing more like Giannis Antetokounmpo and kind of this like pick and roll option. But I mean, Franz and Paulo sometimes seem like they kind of do the same thing on offense, and both the jump shots are streaky. So we'll see about that. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is going to be coming back for the Pacers. Jason Tatum's going to get a full year for the Celtics. I mean, the Hawks might trade for Jaylen Brown, but I mean, the Celtics, we'll see how they are going to be next year. The Hawks were awesome after trade deadline this year. Oh, the East is going to be way stronger next year. I do not see the Knicks getting back at all. The Spurs, there were people that projected them to be a playing team this year. Or I mean, I think the highest projection I saw with the Spurs was the 4 seed. I personally predicted them to be the 5 seed and win 52 games. I was way off. They won 62 games. They were the 2 seed. They beat Oklahoma City in 7. Of course, Oklahoma City didn't have two of the best offensive weapons for most of that series in AJ Mitchell and J Dub. But I mean, the series wins the series win over the defending champions. We really saw how good Victor Wembanyama is defensively in that series and how much he really controls the game. The Thunder just collapsed, not being a 3-point shooting team. And I mean, Chet Holmgren was terrified. He shot twice in game number 7. I think even in game 1, he didn't shoot at all or didn't score a single point after the end of the second half or something like that. So, or not into the second half, like 2 minutes into the second half. Chet was a non-factor in this series because of Wemby's defense. And the thing is, why they won that game 7, even though Wemby didn't have as big of a scoring night as we'd seen him in that series, is because on a screen and roll, Wemby directs so much attention, it leads the shooters open. Like Champagnie, he started hitting shots in that game. I mean, Julian Champagnie becomes the third player in NBA history hit at least 6 threes in the game 7. That's how well he played. He's up there now with Klay Thompson. He's up there now with Stephen Curry. He has been dominant. At least he was. Had been struggling all playoffs long. In that game 7, he came to life. I think the Spurs looked like a team that has kind of aged a lot over the last few days. I mean, I feel like towards the beginning of the series and even in the Portland series, they kind of looked a bit discombobulated at times in offense, not really getting Wemby into it, not really playing off him. I feel like the guards tried to force too much. Game 7 looked great. Stephon Castle played a lot better. He still gets too frustrated with little things, which I get. He was getting fouled hard at many different points in that series. Dylan Harper, he's looking like a guy who could eventually be a top 10 player in the league. That's how good he could be. De'Aaron Fox, I think he finally found his role in this playoff team as kind of being the vet who can hit those big shots, not being Super Bowl dominant, but being there when this team, who's probably top 3 players in Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Victor Wembanyama, you can get into that, all under the age of 23. He could be there as the vet and hit kind of those bigger shots for the Spurs. But the problem for the Spurs in this Knicks matchup is the Knicks are such a good three-point shooting team that, I mean, they don't really have to worry about Wemby taking over the paint like any of the teams the Spurs have played so far have. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns can hit threes outside. If Karl-Anthony Towns can direct Wembanyama out of the paint, I think it will open up the paint up for Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are a bigger team. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of staggering screens. I think they're going to try to play Jalen Brunson off the backside of Karl-Anthony Towns just to give him looks at the paint because the Spurs don't really have a defensive weakness. I think that most likely we're going to end up seeing the Knicks trying to get Jalen Brunson Shane Penny matchup. But Shane Penny's a good on-ball defender. He'll keep Jalen Brunson honest. It's not like he's a James Harden or Joel Embiid who Jalen Brunson can really work and really just cook like that. That's not going to end up happening. The Knicks are going to have their work cut out for them. But the Knicks are a bigger team. They're going to be physical in the series. The rest probably will let them play to a certain extent more. It is the NBA Finals. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, he has done a great job becoming more physical in this last year. He's gotten a lot bigger. He's a lot stronger now. I remember in his rookie season, he was a real thin guy. He's buff now, but he's still not the most physical center in the world. He can be out physical, and if the Knicks can get him to a point where he has to settle for mid-range shots or 3-pointers, they'll be good. They'll be very happy. I think that the Knicks are going to try to put OG Anunoby on Victor Wembanyama and try to do a version of what the Timberwolves with Julius Randle and the Thunder with the other Jalen Williams at least attempted to do to slow him down. OG Anunoby is a better defender, I think, than both those guys. I think they will have some success with that. We've seen the Knicks beat the Spurs before. Regular season matchups, they did beat them in the NBA Cup. I remember Victor Wembanyama, I think he shot 8 or so threes in that game. They did make him settle in that game. The Spurs won on New Year's by 2 or something like that. Then the Knicks blew them out at home. In that game where they blew them out at home, I forget, I think it was March or maybe the month before, or March or February or whatever. But they did a great job. Every time, they just always had an answer for the Spurs. They just were knocking down threes left and right in that game. They were playing unbelievable. I think they did an incredible job of course, just moving the ball side to side. I mean, they didn't shoot too much in the paint, of course, because obviously Wemby's there. But I think the Knicks, if they play like that and how they have been playing, they will have a pretty good shot in this series. What it will mean for the Knicks if they lose the series, I really don't know. I'm sure they're going to try to run back this core. I don't know. I don't understand. They're kind of in a conundrum here, though, if they don't win, because they're not going to be a team that can make the finals next year. I don't see them because getting to this point next year. They've had favorable matchups so far. I think they're happy that they played Philadelphia instead of Boston, obviously. They're definitely happy they played Cleveland instead of Detroit. I honestly think they're happy they played San Antonio rather than Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City would probably blow them out of the water. I mean, they're the defending champs. I think they destroy the Knicks. But this is the best case scenario, the Knicks, to play the Spurs team that they've already beaten twice. So it should be a good series. I don't know what they'll do if they lose. I don't know. I don't know how much of a who they'd actually be willing or want to trade. I don't know how much of a market many of the guys have. I could see them maybe trying to trade for an upgraded center, actually, and having Karl-Anthony Towns play more of a 4, which I don't understand. I don't know if they really want to do that much, but it would really help the paint defense And one thing about Karl-Anthony Towns, he's been a lot better at this during the playoffs, but he does tend to pick defenders up too high, and he gets blown by bigger centers. He also tries to draw offensive fouls on the defensive end of the ball, which a lot of times leads to open layups. I mean, he actually doesn't get to the free throw line. He hasn't been getting to the free throw line a whole lot in these playoffs. I think there's been a lot of times like he's really wanted that call. He hasn't get it. He hasn't gotten it. I think he's shooting like maybe 2 or 3 free throws a night in these playoffs, which is definitely manageable. For San Antonio, I think they should look at some maybe some more size in their starting lineup, just so they could have, instead of Victor Wembanyama being the only ball screener on that team, they could have another guy. I think that would also help for when Victor Wembanyama's kind of trapped and like on the top of the key or by the wing, where he really can't drive and has to settle for a shot. I think having a dude who could really set a good ball screen so he could get into the paint easier would help. I mean, Victor Wembanyama's such a big guy. He needs space. He needs space kind of to blow by other centers. And that's why teams have been really putting faster, speedier, bigger guards like lanky wings on him. And I mean, the Knicks have a whole host of lanky wings because then Victor Wembanyama, of course, is going to be able to get his shot over every single person in the league. Nobody is going to be able to block Victor Wembanyama. But the one thing they can stop is from Victor Wembanyama blowing by them. So the Knicks have a host of lanky wings on that team. They'll definitely try to run they'll definitely try to run Anunoby on him. I think we might see some Josh Hart on him. I mean, I know Josh Hart's only 6'3", but he plays bigger than he actually is, of course. I think Mikal Bridges, they might put him on Wemby. You got to remember how good of a wing defender he is. I don't know if they tried to double team Wemby at all. I don't think that's going to end up happening just because of how good of shooters that he has around him. I mean, even though they're not as so good shooters can hit shots like Steph Castle. I know he's struggled with his three-point shot, but he can make open threes. Every single player that they have in the rotation, kind of other than Luke Cornett in the playoff rotation, is willing to shoot an open three. And even a contested three, basically. All those guys are willing to. The Spurs just have so many weapons offensively that I think are going to be hard for this team to contend with. But I'm excited to see what happens. Tell me what you think.